Alright, so for this podcast, we're going to be talking about writing our answers in set notation and solving compound inequalities. Alright, and we've already talked about writing answers in set notation with our equations and functions. Okay, so it's kind of a review. So really we're going to focus a lot more on the compound inequalities and solving them. Alright, so how to write them in set builder notation. Example 1, so let's just practice set builder with a regular inequality. Negative 5x plus 7 is less than or equal to 17. So once again, to solve that, we're going to isolate the x. First thing we're going to do is subtract 7 from both sides to get rid of the plus 7. So now we have negative 5x. Bring down your less than or equal to sign. 17 minus 7 is 10. And then last step, to get the x by itself, negative 5 times x. Opposite is to divide by that same negative 5. Alright, hopefully your brain's kind of sounding the alarm and you remember that because we're dividing by a negative, we have to flip the sign. 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. So our answer is x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So to put it in set builder, okay, remember we just start that off with our braces for a set, x such that x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Same answer, just writing it a little fancier. That's it. Alright, now for this example, 2 parentheses 3p minus 11 is less than negative 16. So first thing we need to do is distribute. 2 times 3p is 6p. 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. Bring down the less than, bring down the negative 16. Alright, now we're going to start solving for p, getting it alone by getting rid of what's around it. I'm going to get rid of that minus 22 by adding 22. 22's are gone, bring down your 6p. Bring down your less than sign, negative 16 plus 22 is positive 6. And then we're going to divide by negative 6 because that's opposite of timesing it by 6 with the p. P is less than 1. Okay? So now to put that in set builder notation, we're just going to do our set, our braces for our set. So our answer is a set of p's such that p is less than 1. And that is all there is to the set builder notation. Okay? Alright, so now to solve compound inequalities. Okay, and we'll still write our answers in set builder notation. Now remember, compound inequalities are two inequalities in one. Okay, and you can see them written like a sandwich like this where they're all put together. You can see them written separately with the words or and. Okay, so because it's two problems in one, it's kind of like solving two at the same time. Alright, so let's take a look here at the sandwich one. Okay, now the thing we want to focus on here is, remember, the variable is in the middle. Okay? This means 2x is greater than or equal to 8, and 2x is less than 12. So now we've got three parts we need to do. Right? So anything I do to this, I do to this side, and I do to this side. Alright? Most equations and inequalities we have two sides. Now we have three sides. We've got a left, a right, and a middle. Okay? Our goal is still to get the variable by itself. So I'm just going to focus here. The middle is 2x, that means 2 times x. So to get the variable by itself, the opposite would be to divide that by 2, right? Now I've got to divide all the other sides by 2. I'm going to divide this side with 12 by 2, and I'm going to divide this side by 2. Alright, so it's still doing everything to keep it balanced, but now there's three parts. The 2's are gone in the middle. Now 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bring down that less than or equal to sign. The x is now by itself. And then bring down your less than sign. 12 divided by 2 is 6. That is our answer. X is greater than or equal to 4, and x is less than 6. Okay? So, to put that in set builder, the set of all x's such that, and you just write your answer here. So now it's in set builder notation. Okay? Now, to practice graphing this, okay? Now remember, this might be easier to graph if I pull it apart. I'm going to take this part out, right? But remember, I want the variable on the left, so I'm going to flip the x and the 4. And because I flipped the x and the 4, I'm going to have to flip the sign. The mouth is eating the x, the mouth is still eating the x. This side, the variable is already on the left. X is less than 6. This will make it easier to graph. So the first part, x is greater than or equal to 4. I'm going to go to 4. I'm going to put a closed circle because it's greater than and equal to. Then I'm going to go to 6. X is less than 6, open circle, because 6 is not part of the answer. It's everything less than that. And because it's going to be greater than 4 and less than 6, it's going to overlap or intersect. Remember, that's a conjunction. There's our answer. Okay? Alright, number 2. Now we have a disjunct because we see the word or. So now I got two inequalities. 3x plus 1 is less than 4, or 2x minus 5 is greater than 3. I'm going to solve each of these separately, but they're all included in one answer. So to solve this one, I got to get rid of the 3 and the 1, but I got to get rid of the 1 first by subtracting 1. We're left with 3x is less than 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay? And then lastly, to get rid of the 3, 3 times x, opposite is dividing by 3. 3's are gone. X is less than 1. Now that's one part of it. X is less than 1, or now I got to do this one. 2x minus 5 is greater than 3. We're going to get rid of this negative 5 first by adding 5. Now we're left with 2x is greater than 3 plus 5 is 8. Lastly, now we're going to divide by 2 to get rid of that 2 times x. X is greater than 4. Alright, so now our final answer is x is less than 1 or x is greater than 4. Okay, so to put this in set builder notation, once again it's the same answer, we're just going to put all the other things on it. Braces the set of all x's such that x is less than 1 or x is greater than 4. That's set builder. Okay, just putting that stuff in the front, but it's still the same answer. Now when I graph this, this is going to be disjunct because of the word or. It's going to go in opposite directions. It's not going to overlap like this one. So first part of it is x is less than 1. So I go to 1 and I put an open circle because it's not equal to 1, it's just less than 1. So less than goes to the left. Or x is greater than 4. So I put an open circle on 4 because it's not equal to 4, it's just greater than. There's our final answer. Okay? Alright, let's do a couple more. Example 3. Alright, so now we have the compound that's like a sandwich together. Again, right? So once again, always look where the variable is. The variable should always be in the middle. Okay? So, this guides what you're going to do. Don't worry about this or this. You're trying to get the variable by itself, always. So this means negative 3 times x. The opposite of timesing would be dividing, and we're going to divide by a negative 3. Because it's times by a negative 3, right? Now you've got to divide every other part by the same thing to keep it balanced. Divide that by negative 3, and we're going to divide that by negative 3. Now, those have canceled out. Okay? Now hopefully you remember, you're realizing, oh, we're dividing by a negative. That's important because we've got to flip the sign. Maybe we should just flip the signs now so we don't forget later. Okay? Now let's simplify everything. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is a positive 5. X is now by itself because we canceled out the negative 3's. 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. That's our final answer. Okay? That is our final answer. Now if you wanted to rewrite it, small to big, you could. You could put the negative 3 first because that's smallest, but then you're just going to flip the signs. Same meaning. Okay? So once again, to put that in set builder, and I'll use the original answer we had. Okay? So in this case, we're going to say the set of all x's such that 5 is greater than x and x is greater than negative 3. There we go. Okay? Alright, so for the graphing, okay, if we go by the original, you could use this rewritten way as well. But if we go by the original, remember we want the variable on the left. So once again, I would need to pull this apart separately. Okay? This half, the variable's now on the left, so we're going to flip the x and the 5. And if I flip it, flip the sign, the mouth is eating the 5, the mouth should still eat the 5. This side is okay, the variable's on the left. X is greater than negative 3. So we're going to use that to graph it more accurately. So go to negative 3, put an open circle, because it's greater than, not equal to. Go to 5, put an open circle, because it's less than, but not equal to. and it's greater than negative 3, so I'm going to go this way, but I got to stop here. It's less than 5, got to stop here, so it's everything in between, conjunct, or the word and. Okay? Alright, last example. We got negative 6x plus 1 is less than negative 11, or 7 minus 8x is greater than or equal to 31. So we have two inequalities again, so we're going to solve each one separately when they're written separately. Okay? So I want to get x by itself. I need to get rid of the plus 1 first by doing minus 1. We're left with negative 6x is less than negative 11 minus 1 is negative 12. Now to get the x by itself, we're going to divide by negative 6, just like equations. That's gone. X, and look, we divided by a negative. Flip your sign. And a negative 12 divided by negative 6 is a positive 2. Or, now we got to do this side. 7 minus 8x is greater than or equal to 31. Now we need to get rid of the 7 before the 8. Remember, get rid of what's further away, or add or subtract first, however you think of it. So we're going to get rid of the 7 by doing minus 7 on both sides. 7's are gone. Be careful, bring down negative 8x is greater than or equal to 31 minus 7 is 24. Now to get rid of the negative 8 and that from the x, the opposite of these being multiplied would be to divide by the negative 8. Once again, we're dividing by a negative. Don't forget to flip your sign. Okay? Bring down the x. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. So here's your answer. So, to write in a set builder, get your braces. So your answer is the set of all x's such that x is greater than 2 or x is less than or equal to negative 3. There's your final answer. And then to graph it, we're going to graph the first part, x is greater than 2, open circle on 2 because it's greater than but not equal to that. X is less and then it's greater than, so we go that way. X is less than or equal to negative 3. So we're going to go to negative 3, and we're going to use a closed circle because it's equal to negative 3 as well. But then we're going to go left for less than. Disjunct for or. Alright, so try those next two pages of practicing compound inequalities along with writing your answers in set builder notation. Make sure you do that, okay? And then check your answer with the key in class. Alright, good luck.